Hi everyone. So today I have an interesting reading from a magazine titled Good Housekeeping. It's the magazine published in year of 1901. And I'm going to read an article titled Bachelor Girls Housekeeping. It's a really fun article, so it's a little bit long, so bear with me, but I think you're going to enjoy it. Basically, it's an article about girls living on their own on a budget. I'm not sure where exactly, but it's definitely very interesting. I'm going to share some photos here, also of the pictures that I found related to this article. So, anyways, let's start. So, Bachelor Girls Housekeeping by Bethia Bartlett. While so much discussion is going on over the new homes for working women and their advantages and disadvantages, it may not come amiss to tell of an independent and inexpensive way by which two bachelor girls have solved the problem of bed and board in the heart of Boston. There you go. They are living in Boston, Massachusetts. We are artists, struggling not so much to win what the world calls success, but for the wages of going on, believing in plain living and high thinking, but also in doing it in freedom and a respectable place. A man, young and single, can live in a ghetto garret, a la Henry White, until fame pleases to call at his door. But young women, educated, refined, and not quite hopelessly ugly, cannot follow unquestioned in such bohemian footsteps. So our studio is on a back bay avenue among congenial and companionable people. The room is large, well lighted and heated, and comfortably furnished. There are easy chairs, a couch, a big table, and a bed. That is a bed only at the proper time. We have plenty of hot running water, and are not too proud to wash our own clothes. A room of the same size could perhaps be had a trifle cheaper in the suburbs, but the car fares and time consumed in going to and from would more than make up the difference in price. As it is, we are within easy walking distance of downtown, and have the library, symphony hall, and art museum for neighbors. With all their privileges, we feel that we live rather than merely exist. For this furnished room, including heat, water, gas, and attendance, we pay $5 per week. Our board averages $4 a week. This makes a total of $9, and is $4.50 apiece. We neither starve nor stint ourselves, but have plenty of good nourishing food. We dine at noon because the midday dinner is less expensive than the 6 o'clock one, going over to the South End for this. About 7 minutes walk to one of the largest student cafes in the city, where from 5 to 700 people are accommodated daily. The tickets for the noon dinner are $1.20 for 7 meals, and a good, hearty, wholesome repast is served. Breakfast and supper we get in our own room, using a gas stove, one of those small iron things with a tube to attach to the gas burner, and costing 64 cents. Our cooking utensils comprise a coffee pot, a 10-cent frying pan, and 2 agate, where saucepans, the pint and a quart size, and an agate-ware pie plate. This latter serves as a top to the stove, as without it the flame is apt to smoke the saucepans, etc. One great disadvantage in using a stove of this kind. We formerly used an oil stove, and really it was more convenient in many ways, but the scent of the oil can was too much for us, and it had to be banished. It would smell no matter where we put it, and the grocer's boy always seemed to have a grudge against it, and usually returned it leaking. But the stove had this advantage, that it was always ready to light, whereas with the one we now have, we must climb a chair, like a monkey, on a stick, to affix the tube to the chandelier whenever we wish to use it. We have also one of those little wire squares sold at all department stores for a dime to put over the gas globe. As we have 2 burners to the chandelier, we can boil coffee or eggs on this while the stove is being used for other things. So I'm gonna attach a picture here. She described that they're using a tube attached to the chandelier to cook with. So based on this picture, the chandelier was a gas run chandelier, so they would attach a tube to the top of the chandelier or put a pot of tea on one of them to cook on it, and then the tube would run down to the gas little attachment on the table, as you see, and that would be used as a little tiny gas stove to cook with on the table. So talk about dangerous. But this was, I guess, the modern way to live on the cheap. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. That was the most interesting part to me at the moment that I was reading that, and seeing that picture really made it you know, really interesting to see that this is how people lived on a budget back in 1901, especially when you were single and didn't have much money to spend. So continuing on. For breakfast, our almost invariable menu consists of coffee, a cereal, eggs, and toasted bread, varied by rolls or muffins from the bakery. These we warm by wrapping in a wet cloth and placing over the radiator. So yeah, in this picture, if you keep looking at it, the radiator is also, I'm assuming it was heated by boiled water, and so it radiated a lot of heat, but I could be wrong in the way that it was heated, so that was used as also cooking or warming up device beside drying clothes on it, I'm sure. So these we warm by wrapping in a wet cloth and placing over the radiator. The bread is toasted on the agate pie plate, and fine crisp toast it is too. As soon as we rise in the morning, we put the coffee and cereal on to boil, and by the time we are dressed, they are ready. While we dispose of this first course, the eggs are cooking. There are so many ways of preparing eggs: boiled, scrambled, dropped on toast, or an omelette. Sometimes we have fish balls from the bakery, 2 for 5 cents. These we warm over the radiator, but for radiatorless people there is always the frying pan. Yes, radiatorless people. Supper is a very simple matter. Bread and jellies, sliced oranges or bananas, crackers and cheese, cocoa, strawberries in their season, sardines, lettuce, or watercress with salad dressing, a bit of smoked beef or fish and radishes. There are so many little inexpensive things to give a relish to one's bread and butter. We rarely have meat, for you must remember that hearty noon dinner. We try to keep a stock of canned things on hand for the rainy days when we do not care to go out. Cooked meat can be bought now at most cafes and bakeries, and with a bowl of soup, some canned tomatoes, or peas, potatoes, and bread, an olive or two, and a bit of fruit and nuts to top off with, it makes quite a little dinner. When we want things from the grocer's, we drop a card into the midnight mail, and our order is delivered in the next morning. So food delivery is not a new thing. This was more like a personalized food delivery. You dropped a card somewhere and you got an order delivered the next morning. Talk about convenience. One of our inexpensive dishes is a chowder made of shredded codfish, the kind that comes in those little 10-cent packages. First, take 2 good-sized potatoes, pare and cut into small slices, put them on to cook in sufficient water to more than cover them. When they have boiled about 10 minutes, add a heaping tablespoonful of codfish and boil together till the potatoes are done. Then add about half a pint of milk, season with salt and pepper, and when it all boils up again, put in as many crackers as you wish and a good big chunk of butter. Serve hot. Potato soup is a favorite concoction in cold nights. 1 big potato will do for this. Cut in small bits, the same as for chowder. The smaller the pieces, the less time to cook. Boil till very soft. Pour off the water and mash well. We use a milk jar for a masher. While doing this, have half a pint of milk heating. And after adding salt and pepper and a tablespoonful of butter to the potatoes, pour the boiling milk over them. Put the whole back on the stove and stir well together. When it begins to turn creamy and bubble, it is done. Do not let it stand before eating. There are many other things anyone can prepare: oyster stews, milk toast, macaroni, and so on. Sometimes we make fudge over the gas to satisfy our craving for the sweets. Our recipe for this is 1 cup sugar, 1 cup half milk, 3 teaspoonfuls of cocoa, 1 teaspoonful of butter, and boil for 12 minutes. Beat till creamy and pour in a buttered tin. As a wind-up, I will give the menu for a little treat for a party of 9 people at the studio the other night. Everyone praised it mightily, and we were quite puffed up with pride, for the cost of the whole thing was just 99 cents. Here is the bill of fare, which is not imposing on paper, but seemed to please our guests. Salmon salad, olives, buttered sandwiches, cheese, sardines, and iced lemonade. The salmon comes in cans at 10 cents. The lettuce was 10 cents. Dressing, 1/4 of a bottle, 7 cents. The cheese, olives, bread, 2 loaves, and butter were 10 cents in each instance. 6 lemons were 13 cents, sugar 6 cents, crackers 8 cents, ice 5 cents, and a total of 99 cents. The olives can be bought by the quart at the cafe and are much cheaper than those sold in bottles. For years' experience living in this way has proved the practicability of our plan, and our expenses for board have never exceeded the $2 per week average. We are strong and well, and indeed we have waxed fat upon this diet. Of course, we have our hobbies and choose fruit instead of cake or pastry, and give the preference to roast beef at dinner under the belief that it is the most nourishing. But these are not hard and fast rules, and the object of this article is simply to give a general outline of our economies. In all housekeeping, perfect cleanliness is an essential, and when one room must serve all purposes, superlative care is imperative. Food and all dishes and utensils should be kept by themselves. Nothing should be allowed to smell or scorch or burn, no crumbs to fall, but everything must be kept sweet and dainty. Neglect of these precautions will make of your experiment not only failure, but the abomination of desolation. This has been known to exist in the large cities. And this is the end reading of the article titled Bachelor's Girls Housekeeping, published in a year of 1901 in the magazine Good Housekeeping, volume 33. And I will be sure to copy these pages and share them on my blog. So if you would like to print this out, just click on the article in the video description, and you can print this out for yourself and share it with others. So also, if you like this video, don't forget to give me thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you are here for the first time. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed to my channel as of the last few days. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and also feel free to share this video on any of your social media platforms to give it a bit more exposure. So and yeah, you guys have a good day, and I will be back with another interesting reading for another day.